Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 8 of my Xenon progression series. Today let's start off by looking at our EXP bar. We are at 95% here at 257 and we're just about to get to 260. All I need to do now is I'll just need to do a few more dailies. I think if I can hand in the 3 dailies from the Tenebrous areas, I should be able to level up. Let's get to 260 and unlock the new areas and finish up our Hyperburn. And there we go, with our dailies we managed to finish our Hyperburn finally at 260 here. We unlock a lot of new things now that we're 260, and I can't wait to go through all of it. There's so many things that we need to do, and this is just the beginning of getting our character a lot stronger. There are 2 main things that we're looking forward to now that we're level 260. The first thing is that we'll be able to go to Xenon, which is the 260 area. Here we'll be able to do our new grandest dailies, and they will give us a lot of EXP and something called sacred symbols as well, which are basically like arcane symbols except for a new area. And secondly, now that we're 260, of course, we will also be able to do our 6th job advancement. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead and do a few of the cutscenes to unlock Xenon, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Now that we're done with the cutscenes for Xenon and Burnium, we should be able now to access our dailies, and we'll also be able to technically access the epic dungeon High Mountain. I haven't really been doing this one on Hyperburning because I've been using this resource on another character in Kronos, and unfortunately it's only once per account, so I won't be using this on my Xenon. But otherwise we will be trying to get as many fragments as we can on this character once we unlock 6th job. The daily 3000 mobs is also once per world, and I'll be putting that all onto my Xenon to get its 6th job. And speaking of 6th job, we should be able now to start it. These 2 quests take quite a long time. We have to be able to fill up 9 stones, and it will take a while. I won't show this on camera, I'll skip this for you guys, but I do have some things that I wanted to share before I do that. And it is these VIP boosters. As I was training up to 260, I got a bunch of these VIP boosters from the previous event, and these will help me finish up my stones a lot faster, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. Before I go off and start my 6th job, and also skip it for you guys, I wanted to share one big gain that I made just before I hit 260. Up until 260, I had been training only in Last Horizon 4, and the main reason for this is because I wanted to stay consistent on my familiars. From 245 all the way to 260, I was just making fams of the same kind, and on one of the last few fams that I got from Last Horizon 4, this happened. Okay, we get 3 tries. 3 tries. Come on, give us large drop on the way out, please. Large drop, large drop. Oh! That's right, guys. Somehow, within the last couple of fams that I had, I managed to hit a large drop familiar. This is probably one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen because it's so hard to get these and I barely farmed for it. I was already pretty happy with my normal drop fam, but having a large drop one just adds so much extra drop rate, and hopefully this will pay itself back and get us some good drops in the future. Really, I still cannot believe that this happened. Out of all the things that could have happened from the familiars, this is probably one of the best things, because as good as boss fams are, having a large drop fam just makes it so much nicer on your drop rate. Giving yourself better chance to get drops on your dailies, drops when farming, it all just adds up. And once we get the familiars here in Xenon as well, it will help us get more consistent drop rates on the new cards, so then we can actually go for better damage fams. So I went ahead and did my 6th job stones on stream, and thankfully it didn't take too long to do. There were 9 stones in total that we had to fill up, and I saved a lot of the VIP boosters from the previous event, which I used with 3x coupons, MVP, and of course the rune. And the stones filled up pretty quickly actually. I think I got all the 9 stones done within about an hour and a half. It probably could have been done a little bit faster, but there were some cutscenes at the beginning that slowed us down a bit. But overall, really quick. It's a lot faster than I had expected. And thankfully my Xenon is actually strong enough to one-shot in Xenon as well, even though it is the earlier maps of the area. This means that I can do my dailies also really reliably, and on this character I will need to be able to one-shot conveniently do my 3000 mob kills for my 6th job. I bought a few symbols from the event shop to get my sacred symbol to 30. This is just enough for me to be able to one-shot in the new area, and you can see here it's currently at actually level 4, and that's because I bought out the entirety of the Xenon shop for this Xenon. Anyway, there were a few other updates alongside that. Now that I do have my 6th job, I have access to my origin skill, which is really nice, and I am going to be working towards unlocking some more skills here. I really want to get this mastery node. I'm not really sure if I want to do high mountain on this character, because one, I think it will take a really long time, and two, I really want to keep it on my cannon master, but I believe that this extra mastery will give us a good amount of extra damage. It will help us with our bossing, and it will definitely also help us with our mobbing. I ended up actually trying to do hard Lotus and hard Damien. Of course, I can't solo them at the moment because one, I'm not strong enough, and two, I probably don't have the hands to do so. I managed to find a 4-man party for hard Damien, and it was a pretty comfortable clear. But we did get a bunch of cores. I believe from the box I managed to get 4 cores. And then I also managed to find a duo within my guild for hard Lotus. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I did actually die out on my first run with this person. So thank you to the duo from my guild who put up with me and my nonsense, because I almost died out in our second run as well. Almost causing them to die out, honestly. I think that I played very poorly. Still definitely learning my Xenon and the movement and whatnot. We'll just see how it go in the future, but for now though, I think I am pretty comfortable with at least surviving for half the fight, and we did manage to get the clear. The main reason why I wanted to get the clears for hard Lotus and hard Damien this week was for 2 reasons. The first one is that we are able to get a bunch more cores. You can see I was at 1 and I managed to get 4 cores from both Lotus and Damien. I got 5 and 8 respectively, so I have a bunch of shoulders that I could possibly Star Force. And for Lotus, we'll be able to pick between the shoes and the cape for Lotus, so having an option for that's quite nice. But more importantly, I'm actually just able to straight up get the armor box. This is what I really wanted. Ideally, in my case, I would also like a weapon box to just improve upon my Absolab weapon. I'm still using the fake Absolab, but at the very least, having armor boxes means that I save myself quite a lot of time. I would like to try to buy more shoes for the time being, mostly because that is the most reliable fodder I can get. And the reason why I'm leaning a little bit more towards the shoes than any of the other pieces is because the shoulder is very easy to get from just doing the dailies. Dark World Tree is a lot easier than Scrapyard. And on top of that, the main fodders that we have are the shoulder and the shoes anyway. So I think for now, this armor box will be going towards the shoe. Now that we're able to build up a few of our spares, hopefully next week I'll be able to get a Damien and Lotus run in as well, just to see if we can get some more for our 30% off Star Forcing event. For the next steps on this character, I'm going to try to get a bit stronger so then I can participate in some other parties as well. There are a few that I'm looking forward to trying to join, the main ones being Chaos, Guardian Angel. I think this boss with the chance of getting a Guardian Angel slime ring is very good. I already have a Twilight Mark thanks to my trades for Lucid and Will, and being able to get a slime ring and getting the 2 set bonus for 10% boss damage is pretty strong. And I think at 17 stars, I think the Guardian Angel slime ring actually beats out probably one of the event rings, which is pretty good for us. And also ideally, I like to try to get into V Healer and Dark Knell as well. Not really sure if I can even do the 5% for either of those if the party goes pretty quick. I think most parties tend to not want to stay in either of these bosses too long, so I think that my damage is probably not quite there yet. And I honestly don't think that people would even take me just because of my stats. Of course, I'm only 260 and my combat power is only at 18 mil at the moment. Not high enough for most parties, I'd imagine, and yeah, they'd probably clear too fast for me to even get anything out of it. But at the very least, I might be able to find a trade for next week and just getting more chances at Arcanes to be able to get a potential weapon, and the gloves as well is quite nice. Until then though, I think my main gain would be just either by leveling up more or just by farming more fragments. Like I mentioned before, I want to try to be able to unlock a lot of these skills, and they will increase my damage by quite a fair amount, but I am missing a lot of fragments and of course a lot of Soul Erder as well. I want to lean towards not farming too much just yet because Cernium fams are expected to be coming soon, I think within about a week or so, so I don't really want to farm too much. But depending on what I need to do in terms of my damage, I might go ahead and see if I can get some more fragments to at least be able to get my mastery. In terms of our damage and gains on our items, the main thing we're looking forward to is the 30% off, and I do want to try to push my CRA to 21, but something happened on stream which is something I didn't account for, and that was a second belt drop from Golix. Since I got my large drop familiar, I've only run Golix 1 extra time, and I guess it decided to give me a second belt, so this is actually quite nice. The belt is something that is very easy to fodder into because of our pink bean belts, and I have a good amount of spares here. It looks like I have about 12, and I have another 3 or so reinforced belts that can also be used as fodder. So perhaps after I get my CRA to 21, I might actually opt towards trying to fodder for my belt. mostly because this is a best in slot item for me, as opposed to perhaps the Absolab gear, which I might replace in the future. It's kind of hard to see because right now I'm mostly lacking on just spares in general. Speaking of spares, I mentioned earlier in the videos that I really wanted to do Meister's accessory crafting, but these advanced item crystals are being a bit of a pain. I know there's a bunch of things I can do to be able to get more spares to be able to disenchant them, but even right now it's kind of proving to be a bit of a challenge. It takes a long time for me to just keep running back and forth between a few places to be able to disenchant them for item crystals, and honestly it's just being a bit of a pain. I'll see how I feel about this. I do have about a week to get enough item crystals and get to Meisters. I don't think it'll be a time issue. It'll definitely be whether or not I can be bothered grinding out these crystals, and later on of course making more accessories so then I can get to Meisters. I don't think it'll take too long, but it is just a big grind on getting these item crystals. I think though that is pretty much most of the things I wanted to talk about regarding my Xenon for the time being. Just to recap, we are looking forward to 30% off so we can make some pretty good star forcing gains, and until then I'm going to take it easy on this character because I also really want to start training, but the familiar cards in Grandis are going to come out in about a week, so I'm going to try to limit my grinding to minimize any burning out or anything like that because I am really enjoying the Xenon. I'd rather not get sick of it before we get our big update with those familiars. Until then, I'll just be doing my dailies, mostly looking forward to finishing off my Arcane River symbols as soon as possible, and also, of course, continuing on with our Grandis dailies and our 6th job. Our 6th job will be slowly improving. Hopefully, I'll be able to unlock more things so then I can consistently do more bosses. And honestly, I'm looking forward to being able to attempt some of the stronger bosses and trying to trade it with my friend. We just had the weekly reset, and I am planning on trading a lot more bosses. I couldn't really do that last week because I was still trying to level up and get my 6th job, but now that I actually have 6th job unlocked, a lot of these bosses are a lot more attainable, and who knows, we might get some good drops in the future. Ideally, we'll be able to get maybe 1 or 2 arcane pieces. I would love to get a arcane weapon drop. That would be probably the best drop I could get at this point, and if I do get armor drops, I will be trying to replace this glove. The glove is a pretty strong slot because at legendary we can get something called crit damage lines, and those are just a very strong gain. It'll be a big improvement over the current ones I have at the moment. So those are the main things I'm looking forward to. Alongside that, we are trying to star force a lot of our gear, and I do have a good amount of spares like I've mentioned earlier. And on top of that, we are getting really close to getting our first bought piece of Superior. I'm currently at 600 coins, so within about 3 or 4 days I should be able to buy my first piece, which will most likely be the pendant because my other damage pendant right now that I'm using is just this Mechanator. It's not that good, and a Superior Golix pendant would be a lot better. The Superior Golix ring would be a good improvement as well, but because these are event rings, a 17-star Superior ring won't beat any of these out until I have the full set, so I think the pendant would be the best purchase for me at the moment. And once I do get that pendant, I will be trying to make this Superior Golix earring usable as well. I just need to star force this up, hopefully as well on the 30%. To close off, in my damage gear, I am currently sitting at 18.1 mil combat power. I also gave an attempt at doing normal slime again, and I managed to clear the boss really quickly. I did it in about 7 minutes without any guild skills, so this character is really building up pretty quickly, and it should be a pretty comfortable 5% in a lot of the bosses that I plan to trade. Anyway guys, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series so far. In the next part, I am planning on doing a lot of the bosses, so do look forward to that. I'm really hoping for some good drops. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some good gains as well on the Sunday. If you want to keep updated on my progress, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy these videos, please give them a like. It helps me out a lot. Take care guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Love to hear it. Oh my god! No way, do I have to do Commercy? Are you serious? Oh my god. I don't want to do Commercy. No.